New York Harbor and one of the most famous, iconic landmarks on planet Earth, the Statue of Liberty. I've been to America many times and to New York many times. And I love the place, basically. I don't like everything about it, but I love coming here, and I've always gotten very well with many of the people, most of the people that I've come across. But coming this time, as soon as I landed in America, in San Francisco, through to Cleveland and down to New York, I've just felt a different America, a much more anxious America, a more fearful America. And certainly walking around New York City with the protests at Wall Street and everything, it is a very much more than ever before police state America. When I first came here in the 1990s, I was taken aback by the number of police with guns that there were, and park police that carried guns, and it's like, what's going on? But that was as nothing compared with the police state that America is becoming. Indeed, the world is becoming, but America is certainly leading the way. And America, for me, is such a mass of contradictions. It's so topsy-turvy in so many ways. And even the Statue of Liberty, it on one level has this image, obviously, of being about liberty, about being the flame of liberty. But it was given to New York by French Freemasons in Paris that realized and knew very clearly what it really represented. There's a mirror image of the Statue of Liberty on an island in the River Seine in Paris, and it is the goddess of Babylon, the ancient goddess worshipped by the Illuminati bloodlines that I've been exposing all these years, the bloodline families that are behind this global control system that is behind the kind of police state, emerging Orwellian state that I've just been talking about. And thus, we have an iconic image representing freedom when it represents the ancient goddess of the Illuminati, going back to ancient Babylon and that whole ancient period. And if you look at the way the goddess was depicted, it had the spikes around the head, just like the Statue of Liberty. And the sun god, probably when you look at it, probably the Saturn god of Babylon was Nimrod, and Nimrod was depicted as a flame or a lighted torch, held of course by the Statue of Liberty. And the lighted torch is one of the great symbols of this Illuminati bloodline network. And when I look at America, I see so many other topsy-turvy, it seems to be one thing when it's another. Just over there is the emerging Freedom Tower on the site of the World Trade Center. And it's the Freedom Tower. It's about a representation of freedom, when actually it's being built on land where the two towers stood that were brought down by this very network in an engineered fake terrorist attack. It was a terrorist attack. We're not the kind that they're telling us it was. And that event on 9/11 has been used to dramatically delete freedom in this country through the Patriot Act and the Orwellian state in general that's been justified by that event and others that have followed. What has been justified is a global war on terror in which vast numbers of people, mostly with brown faces, innocent civilians and children, have been slaughtered, justified by the need to react to a terror event just down the way from here, which was actually engineered by the very forces that are now telling us and have told us that they have to go and invade this country or invade that country and delete our freedoms to save us from the people that did that, when they were the people who did that, along with Mossad. And British intelligence would have been in there somewhere. It usually is. And a couple of things that I've noticed since I came to America, and one of them was like brought to mind this week. And there are two of the major programs that hold this country in servitude and have since its creation. One is the the God program, where, of course, the early settlers were the Puritans, you know, the Puritans, no laughing, no dancing, no music, no nothing. And that religious program, starting in the early days, right at the start, has come through and dominates the psyche of so many people in this country. It saddens me. I mean, people might not like this, but, you know, speak your truth and take it as you will. But it saddens me to see how the Christian program, especially the extreme Christian program, has gripped the minds of so many black people in this country. When it was the very religion of the slave owners that was imposed upon the slaves as part of the process of suppressing them and bringing them, you know, in control and servitude. And now I see evangelical black ministers and preachers who seem to have learned the art of preaching from the same preacher school, because they all deliver it in the same way, that are Bible bashing and bashing a religion and promoting a religion that helped to enslave the people that were brought over from Africa and so on. I find that so sad, that the control system of the slave owners has been taken over by the people that come from the former slaves. But there's another one, and I've been aware of this since I was a kid, funnily enough, a long time ago. And it came to mind again this week when I was interviewed by someone. I didn't have a very nice experience with him, but I was interviewed by someone who reminded me very, very much of this other program. I call it the John Wayne program. And John Wayne, for people who are much younger than me, was, again, an iconic movie actor in this country. And again, one of contradiction and topsy-turviness, because John Wayne became a war hero in this country, and a national hero in this country, particularly a war hero because he specialized in cowboy movies and war hero movies. He became a war hero while never hearing or seeing a gunshot in anger. While the young people of America were the other side of this ocean, getting killed and killing others in real combat, things like the D-Day landings and so many other combats in Europe in the Second World War. John Wayne was on a movie set in Hollywood having makeup put on before his next scene. And yet he became the symbol of America, as so many people have been programmed to see America. And this is very, very, very important, I would suggest, to so much that's been allowed to happen, and so much that has happened, justified and supported by this John Wayne mentality I'm talking about. John Wayne played basically one character in different situations, usually with a cowboy hat on or a military uniform. He was the good guy. This was the persona. He was the tough, strong, tough guy, but with a heart of gold. He was the man who was coming in, the tough, heart of gold, man of justice and fairness, who was coming in to sort out the bad guys. And that, take that to what we're seeing today, and what we've seen decade after decade after decade. Because I hear American politicians and other people in America talk about America standing for peace. America does not stand for peace. Vast numbers of Americans do, individually. But as a country, as a unit, it does not stand for peace. If you put into Google American wars since 1776, and you look at the list of them to present day, it is absolutely staggering. And far from being a government, a military of peace, it's been one of slaughter on an unbelievable scale, one of slaughter of the innocent and acquisition of resources and countries as a result of the slaughtering of the innocent. And this has been justified by the John Wayne mentality. I mean, you just look you know, go on the internet or something and look at the Obama speeches justifying the pepper bombing of Libya and sending NATO in there, dominated by the American military, the American Air Force. And you will see a John Wayne speech. This is America. We're a country of peace. We don't go into war lightly. But yes, you do, and have done decade after decade after decade. How has this been justified, and how has so many people explained it away and supported it? Because just as Obama justified the slaughter in Libya, it's been basically, we are America, brackets John Wayne. We are the tough guy. We have the big military, and we're the biggest military in the world, but we have a heart of gold. We only want to help people. We only want to protect civilians from these bad guys. We're going in there to sort the bad guys out. Oh, if only John was here now. He is. John Wayne was supposed to have died in 1979. The program that is John Wayne, that is such a, still today, a massive manipulator of the national psyche and the national perception and self-identity of America, is still there, almost as powerful as ever. Instead of going in with his gun and his cowboy hat and going in, you know, is it the Green Berets and all that stuff? The Green Berets was a John Wayne film. You know, go into YouTube and put the Green Berets in, and you'll see the title music sung by apparently a Green Beret, and you'll see the most sickening, grotesque, ridiculously inaccurate portrayal of Green Berets that you'll ever come across. Because this is what it is, you see. I still see it today. I see this, oh, he's a Navy SEAL, he's a Green Beret, he's a Marine. They kill people, don't they? Don't they kill people? And oh no, but they don't just kill people, they kill people to sort the bad guys out. Well, there must be a lot of bad guys in the world, because there's a lot of them been sorted out over the years. And that John Wayne mentality that sees the strong guy going in with a gun, the Rambo, the Rocky, and all these people, the Schwarzenegger. This is all, or are all, expressions of this John Wayne mentality that still has this grip on so many in this country. It's breaking away, it's fracturing, hallelujah to that, but it's still vastly there. And it justifies the most appalling actions against innocent, often defenseless people around the world. And it's happening more and more now, because it's not really slaughter. John Wayne never killed anybody really, except the bad guys. He was only doing it for fight for good. And that's the way that so many see the American military and the grotesque history it has. Not of protecting people, not of saving the world, but of taking the world down a road, a dark, dark road of mass human slaughter, destruction, and conquest. And so, when you come to America, you meet so many nice people. And it's an incredible country in so many ways. But it's being systematically destroyed, militarily and financially, to bring it under the heel of a world government dictatorship. If you want a world government dictatorship and you want control of the planet over every country and every people, you cannot have superpowers with the financial and military might to say no to you. So ironically, while we're seeing this slaughter, while we're seeing all these wars of conquest, we're seeing the country that's set up to be the fall guy doing them, because, you know, so many of the guns shot by America, symbolically and literally, are actually loaded in Europe with the center of this global secret society network. So America is being used to destroy itself. And, you know, every year, if you add in all the costs of the American military, all the hidden costs, this country, when people increasingly are living in tent cities, are losing their homes, are losing their jobs, are losing their livelihoods, this country is spending in excess of $1 trillion a year on the military and overseas acts of slaughter and conquest. And surely it's time, surely before this process is complete, this delusion is complete, that Americans in vast numbers look collectively in the mirror as a nation and say, hold on, have we been had here? Are we really the good guy, John Wayne, sorting out the bad guys? Or are we just using that program to justify the most outrageous, stomach-turning mass murder that is getting more and more blatant all the time? Because until these programs, the God program and the John Wayne program, are deleted and diluted, so many Americans will go on being manipulated to support action that ironically is designed to destroy the country they think they stand for, and to destroy the economy and the military that they thought was the strongest in the world. America is bankrupt. It's absolutely bankrupt. And until people start to realize that it's all been systematically done, then the job will be completed. I know some people might not like what I've said. Really, I don't mind, I don't care. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I just want to say something because I think it needs saying. That is an illusion. And everything that's followed it has been an illusion in the sense of the self-identity of America as it's been programmed to Americans to believe in. And until we kind of take a step back and redefine self-identity of America and see what the game really is, persuading the people that America is the good guy John Wayne so that Americans will support this grotesque nonsense and mass killing, then like I say, the job will be completed. It doesn't have to be. It's still our choice, but only just.